You are the creator of your reality. Every thought, every feeling, and every assumption you hold shapes the world around you. The truth of this statement lies not in wishful thinking or vague hope, but in the very foundation of how life operates. To live in the end, to act as if you already have what you desire, is not merely an exercise in positive thinking, it is a conscious alignment with the creative power that defines the universe. What does it mean to live in the end? It means adopting the mindset that you are already in possession of what you desire, as though it has already come to pass. This is not a fantasy, but rather the most potent act of creation. It's about knowing that the future you wish for is already a present reality within you. The key is to assume this state completely, allowing it to govern your actions, thoughts, and feelings as though it were already your truth. When you live in the end, you step beyond the limits of what your senses tell you. Your senses show you the world as it appears, but your imagination shows you the world as it could be. The true power lies in choosing which of these to believe. Most people are so tied to the evidence of their senses that they cannot break free from the current version of their lives. They look around and see lack, failure, or limitation, and they allow these external conditions to dictate their internal state. But the real process of creation happens the other way around. What is within you determines what is around you. When you can stand firm in the conviction that you already possess your desire, despite the outer conditions, the world will begin to shift in response. It is not the outer world that has the final say, it is your inner world. Consider this: everything you see now in your life was once imagined. The job you have, the relationships you are in, the home you live in, these were all, at one time, nothing more than thoughts in your mind. They only became reality because at some point, consciously or unconsciously, you assumed them to be true. You believed in their existence before they manifested. This is the power of assumption. To act as if you already have what you want is to align yourself with the state of being that attracts it into your life. If you desire love, act as though you are already deeply loved. Feel what it feels like to be cherished, respected, and adored. If you desire abundance, walk through life with the calm confidence that comes from knowing you are financially free. Feel the relief, the joy, the excitement of having more than enough. If you want success, carry yourself as though you are already successful. Speak, think, and act from the place of accomplishment, even if the world hasn't caught up with that reality yet. There will be moments when your current circumstances tempt you to abandon this mental discipline. Doubts will creep in, and your senses will try to convince you that nothing is changing. But this is where your faith must remain unshaken. The outer world is always slow to reflect inner change. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig up the soil every day to check whether the seed is growing. You trust that it is taking root beneath the surface, even when there is no visible evidence of progress. In the same way, you must trust that the reality you are cultivating in your mind is coming to fruition, even when nothing seems to be happening yet. The process of living in the end involves more than just thought. It requires feeling. Thought alone is not enough to bring about change. You must feel the state of your wish fulfilled. This is not simply imagining what it would be like, it is the actual feeling of living in that state now. Your emotions are the language through which you communicate with the creative force of the universe. The stronger your feeling, the more powerfully you are communicating your desire. Ask yourself, how would you feel if you were already the person you wish to be? What emotions would dominate your experience? Is it relief, joy, excitement, peace, or confidence? Whatever those feelings are, they are the key to unlocking your desired reality. Begin to cultivate them in your daily life. Even if the world tells you that nothing has changed, remain steadfast in your feeling that everything has already changed. Living in the end also requires you to release any attachment to the how and when of your desire's manifestation. The human mind often tries to control the process, attempting to figure out every detail of how things will unfold. But this need for control stems from a place of doubt. It suggests that you don't truly believe in the power of your assumption. When you live in the end, you trust that the details will be taken care of. You let go of the need to micromanage the process and surrender to the natural unfolding of events. You know that what is meant for you will come in the perfect way, at the perfect time. It's essential to cultivate patience. Creation takes time, not because it is inherently slow, but because we often stand in our own way by doubting or wavering in our faith. If you can hold steady in the assumption that your desire is already yours, you will accelerate the process. However, every moment of doubt, every time you revert to focusing on what you lack, delays the manifestation. You must remain unwavering in your conviction that it is already done, even when faced with evidence to the contrary. Living in the end means living with an unshakable sense of certainty. It means making decisions as though your desired outcome is already your reality. How would you act if you were already living your dream? How would you treat others? How would you spend your time? What would your daily routine look like? Begin to embody those actions now. By aligning your behavior with your desired state of being, you send a clear signal to the universe that this is who you are, and the universe responds accordingly. The external world is nothing more than a mirror, reflecting back to you the contents of your inner world. If you do not like what you see in your life, it is not because the world is against you, it is because your internal state does not match your desire. Change the state within, and the reflection must change as well. Remember, the feeling of having already achieved your desire is the catalyst for its manifestation. The more consistently you can live in this feeling, the more rapidly your reality will shift to align with it. It is not enough to occasionally dip into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You must make it your dominant state of being. You must carry this feeling with you throughout your day, regardless of what is happening around you. As you persist in this state, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your reality. Things will start to move in your favor. Opportunities will arise, doors will open, and the people and circumstances you need will be drawn to you. This is the natural consequence of living in the end. It is not magic, it is the law. You are always creating, whether you realize it or not. The only difference is that now you are doing it consciously. So live boldly. Live in the end as though your dream is already yours. Know that your assumption is the key to your power. You do not need to wait for permission from the world to begin living as the person you wish to be. The moment you assume it is true, it becomes true within you. And when it is true within, it must become true without. When you live in the end, you are tapping into a fundamental truth about reality. Everything is created twice, first in the imagination and then in the external world. This principle underpins all creation. The invisible precedes the visible. The intangible precedes the tangible. It's important to understand that every physical object, every relationship, every circumstance in your life began as an idea, a thought, or a feeling. Once you grasp this concept, you begin to realize that the world around you is not fixed. It is malleable, changeable, and entirely subject to the beliefs you hold. The moment you conceive of a desire, it already exists in an unseen realm. It exists in potential. It is not yet visible, but that does not mean it isn't real. The unseen is as real as the seen. The only difference is that one has not yet materialized into form. By living in the end, by acting as though you already have what you want, you begin to collapse the gap between the invisible and the visible. You draw that potential reality closer to the present moment, until it inevitably becomes part of your physical experience. Living in the end is a declaration of faith. It is an unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours. But faith, in this context, is not passive. It is an active, living force. Faith demands that you embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled, that you think, speak, and act as though the thing you desire is already your reality. This is a powerful shift because most people wait for external evidence before they allow themselves to feel a certain way. They wait for success before they feel successful. They wait for love before they feel loved. They wait for abundance before they feel wealthy. To live in the end is to take your mind off the process of how your desire will come to fruition. It requires you to trust in a deeper intelligence, one that orchestrates all of creation. The human mind often gets caught up in the details, trying to figure out every step along the way. It wants to know exactly how things will happen, in what order, and according to what timeline. But this need for control is rooted in fear. It's the fear that if you don't personally manage every aspect of the process, your desire won't manifest. This fear is unnecessary. When you live in the end, you are handing over the details to a higher power, trusting that the universe knows the most harmonious and efficient way to bring your desire into being. You let go of the need to know how it will happen, and instead you focus entirely on living in the feeling that it already has happened. This is not a passive form of surrender, it is an active participation in creation. You are still deeply involved in the process, but your role is to maintain the inner state of fulfillment, to nurture the feeling that your desire is already yours. The question often arises, how long do you need to live in the end before your desire manifests? The answer is as long as it takes for you to fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled. There is no set timeline, no rigid schedule. Some desires may manifest quickly, while others may take longer. The key is persistence. You must remain faithful to your assumption, regardless of how long it takes for the physical world to catch up with your inner state. The physical world is slower to respond than your imagination, but that doesn't mean it isn't responding. Think of it like a river that has been flowing in one direction for a long time. When you change your assumptions, when you begin to live in the end, you are changing the direction of the current. It may take time for the river to fully shift, but the moment you change your assumption, the current begins to turn. The more consistently you live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the faster the external world will reflect that new direction. Living in the end requires you to be vigilant about your thoughts and feelings. You must guard against slipping back into old patterns of lack and limitation. It's easy to fall into the habit of reacting to the current conditions of your life, especially if those conditions are far from what you desire. But every time you react to your external circumstances as though they are fixed and unchangeable, you reinforce the very reality you wish to transcend. This is where mental discipline comes into play. You must train yourself to focus on the reality you want, not the reality you see. Your current circumstances are nothing more than the outpicturing of your past thoughts, feelings, and assumptions. They are not permanent, and they do not define what is possible for you. When you live in the end, you are no longer bound by the limitations of your current reality. You are living from a place of infinite possibility, knowing that whatever you assume to be true within you will eventually become true in the world around you. One of the most powerful tools in living in the end is visualization. When you visualize, you are using the power of your imagination to create the feeling of your wish fulfilled. But visualization is not just about seeing images in your mind. It is about fully immersing yourself in the experience of your desired reality. You must engage all of your senses. See the sights, hear the sounds, feel the textures, and most importantly, experience the emotions of living in your desired state. If you desire financial freedom, imagine yourself living that reality. What does your daily life look like? How do you feel as you wake up each morning, knowing that you have more than enough money to meet your needs and desires? If you desire a loving relationship, visualize yourself with your ideal partner. What are you doing together? How do you feel in their presence? The more vivid and real you can make these mental experiences, the more powerfully they will impress upon your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you impress upon it as truth. This is why it is so important to guard the thoughts and images you allow into your mind. Every thought, every feeling, every image you hold is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Over time, those seeds will grow and bear fruit in the form of your external reality. The question is, what kind of seeds are you planting? Are they seeds of abundance, love, and success? Or are they seeds of lack, fear, and limitation? Living in the end is about consciously choosing the seeds you plant. It's about taking control of your inner world so that it aligns with the outer world you wish to create. This is not a one-time effort. It is a daily practice. Every day you must choose to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, regardless of what is happening around you. Some days it will be easy, and other days it will be more challenging. But the more you practice, the more natural it will become. Over time, living in the end will become second nature to you. You will no longer have to consciously remind yourself to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, because it will become your default state. You will move through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that whatever you desire is already yours. This is the true power of living in the end. It allows you to move beyond the limitations of time and space and to create your reality from the inside out. Another important aspect of living in the end is self-concept. Your self-concept is the foundation upon which all of your desires are built. It is the image you hold of yourself in relation to the world around you. If your self-concept is rooted in lack, unworthiness, or limitation, no amount of external effort will bring about lasting change. You may achieve temporary success, but it will not be sustainable because your self-concept will eventually pull you back to a state that matches your inner beliefs. In order to live in the end effectively, you must elevate your self-concept to match the reality you desire. You must see yourself as worthy, capable, and deserving of all that you wish to create. This is not about arrogance or ego, it is about recognizing the divine power within you. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a creator. When you truly understand this, you begin to approach life from a place of empowerment rather than fear. Elevating your self-concept requires you to let go of old, limiting beliefs about who you are and what is possible for you. These beliefs may have been ingrained in you since childhood. They may have been reinforced by society, by your family, or by past experiences. But they are not the truth of who you are. They are simply the result of past conditioning. When you live in the end, you are not bound by the past. You are free to create a new self-concept that aligns with your highest vision for your life. One of the most effective ways to elevate your self-concept is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that affirm the reality you wish to create. When repeated consistently, they begin to reshape your subconscious mind and align it with your desired outcome. For example, if you desire financial abundance, you might affirm, "I am financially free and abundant." If you desire love, you might affirm, "I am worthy of deep and fulfilling love." The key is to choose affirmations that resonate with you and to repeat them often, especially during moments of doubt or fear. Detachment is one of the most misunderstood aspects of creation. Many believe that to detach means to stop caring about the outcome or to give up on the desire altogether. But this is not the case. Detachment does not mean indifference, it means freedom. It means freeing yourself from the need for your desire to manifest in a specific way or on a specific timeline. Detachment allows you to maintain a state of peace and inner fulfillment, regardless of what is happening in the external world. It means that your happiness is not contingent upon the manifestation of your desire. When you are truly living in the end, you are so absorbed in the feeling of your wish fulfilled that the need for external validation fades away. You no longer feel the urge to check for signs or to constantly monitor the progress of your manifestation. You know that your desire is already yours, and so there is no need to obsess over when or how it will appear. This is the essence of detachment. Detachment also allows you to remain open to the infinite possibilities that exist in the universe. When you are overly attached to a specific outcome, you may inadvertently limit the ways in which your desire can come to you. The universe has a far greater intelligence than the human mind can comprehend, and it often delivers our desires in ways that are far better than we could have imagined. But in order to receive these blessings, we must be willing to let go of our rigid expectations and trust in the process. Living in the end also requires you to let go of doubt. Doubt is the enemy of creation. It is the voice that whispers, "What if it doesn't happen? What if I fail? What if I'm failed?" These doubts can be insidious, and if left unchecked, they can sabotage your ability to manifest your desires. The moment you allow doubt to take root in your mind, you begin to waver in your assumption that your wish is already fulfilled. Doubt creates resistance, and resistance slows down the process of manifestation. It is like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to check if it is growing. The seed needs time to germinate and to develop roots beneath the surface. In the same way, your desires need time to unfold in the physical world. When you live in the end, you are trusting that the seed you have planted in your imagination is growing, even if you cannot yet see the results. Gratitude also serves as a reminder that you are always supported by the universe. Even in moments of doubt or uncertainty, there is always something to be grateful for. Whether it's the love of a friend, the beauty of nature, or the simple fact that you are alive and breathing, there is always a reason to give thanks. When you focus on these blessings, you strengthen your faith in the goodness of life and in the power of the universe to bring your desires to fruition. Living in the end is not about pretending that everything is perfect or ignoring the challenges you may face along the way. It is about maintaining a state of inner fulfillment, regardless of external circumstances. It is about holding on to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of adversity. This does not mean that you will never experience moments of doubt, frustration, or fear. These emotions are a natural part of the human experience. But when you live in the end, you learn to navigate these emotions with grace and resilience. When challenges arise, instead of reacting with fear or despair, you can use them as opportunities to strengthen your faith. Every challenge is an invitation to return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is a reminder to hold on to your inner vision, even when the outer world seems to be in chaos. This is the true test of living in the end. Can you remain faithful to your assumption, even when everything around you suggests otherwise? Can you hold on to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the midst of uncertainty? The more you practice living in the end, the more you will realize that external circumstances have no power over you. You are the creator of your reality, and your inner state determines what you experience. This realization gives you a sense of peace and empowerment, because you no longer feel at the mercy of the world around you. You understand that no matter what happens, you have the ability to create the life you desire from within. Living in the end also requires you to let go of the need for approval or validation from others. Often when we set out to create something new in our lives, we seek the approval of those around us. We want others to confirm that we are on the right path, that our desires are valid, and that we are worthy of achieving them. But this need for external validation can be a trap. It can cause us to doubt ourselves and to question our desires. The truth is, no one else can validate your desires for you. Only you know what is true for you. Only you can decide what you want to create in your life. When you live in the end, you are no longer seeking approval from others, because you have already given yourself permission to have what you desire. You have already claimed it as yours, and you no longer need anyone else's validation to affirm that truth. This does not mean that you should ignore the opinions of others or isolate yourself from the world. It simply means that you are no longer dependent on others for your sense of worth or for confirmation that you are on the right path. You trust yourself and your inner knowing. You trust that your desires are valid and that you are worthy of having them. When you live in the end, you are living from a place of self-assurance and inner confidence. Another important aspect of living in the end is embracing the present moment. Often when we are focused on manifesting our desires, we become so fixated on the future that we forget to appreciate the present. We become consumed with the idea of getting to the next step, the next goal, the next manifestation. But the present moment is where all of your power lies. It is in the present that you create your reality. When you live in the end, you are not waiting for the future to bring you happiness or fulfillment. You are experiencing those feelings right now, in the present moment. You are allowing yourself to feel the joy, the peace, and the satisfaction of your wish fulfilled, even before it has materialized in the physical world. This is the key to manifestation. You must feel it now in order to experience it later. The present moment is also where you have the opportunity to practice gratitude, to nurture your inner vision, and to align yourself with the energy of your desired reality. Every moment is an opportunity to reaffirm your assumption that your wish is already fulfilled. Every moment is an opportunity to embody the feeling of your desired state. When you live in the end, you are no longer living for some distant future. You are living in the fullness of the present. It's also important to understand that living in the end is not about forcing things to happen. It's not about trying to control every detail of your life or manipulating circumstances to fit your desires. True creation comes from a place of flow and ease. When you live in the end, you are not pushing against the current. You are allowing the natural flow of life to carry you toward your desire. You are trusting in the process, knowing that everything is unfolding in perfect timing. Forcing things to happen only creates resistance. It sends a signal to the universe that you don't believe your desire is already yours, and as a result, it pushes your desire further away. When you live in the end, you are not trying to make things happen. You are allowing them to happen. You are creating a space of openness and receptivity, where the universe can deliver your desire in the most harmonious and effortless way. This does not mean that you should sit back and do nothing. Action is an important part of the creation process, but it is inspired action that flows from a place of inner alignment. When you are living in the end, the actions you take are not driven by fear, desperation, or lack. They are inspired by the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You take action not because you need to make something happen, but because you are so aligned with your desired reality that the actions flow naturally from that state of being. Inspired action feels different from forced action. It feels effortless, joyful, and in alignment with your true self. It comes from a place of inner knowing rather than from a place of fear or scarcity. When you live in the end, you are attuned to this inner guidance and you allow it to lead you toward the fulfillment of your desire. Living in the end is a practice. It is a daily commitment to align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you wish to create. It is a way of being, not just a technique. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, living in the end becomes your default state of being, and you find yourself effortlessly attracting the people, circumstances, and opportunities that are in alignment with your desires. Living in the end is a practice that fundamentally reshapes the way we approach life and our desires. At its core, it is about embodying the truth that what you want already exists. It is not something that lies in the distant future, waiting to be obtained through struggle or effort. Instead, it is a state that is within your reach at every moment, ready to be claimed simply by aligning your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with the reality of its fulfillment. One of the most powerful aspects of living in the end is the realization that you are not separate from your desires. Often people think of their desires as something external, something out there that they must work hard to achieve or attain. But in truth, your desires are an extension of you. They originate from within, and as such, they are already a part of your reality. The separation between you and your desires is an illusion created by the mind, reinforced by societal conditioning that emphasizes hard work, struggle, and linear progress toward goals. Living in the end dissolves this illusion of separation. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are merging with the energy of your desire. You are no longer perceiving it as something outside of you, but as something that is already an integral part of your life. This shift in perspective is crucial because it allows you to bypass the limitations of the logical mind, which often tries to rationalize why something is impossible or difficult to achieve. By living in the end, you are stepping into a state of being where you no longer question the possibility of your desire, you simply accept it as fact. This brings us to the importance of inner dialogue. Your inner dialogue, the constant stream of thoughts that runs through your mind, is one of the most powerful tools in shaping your reality. Whether you realize it or not, your thoughts are continuously creating your experience. Every time you think about your desires, whether positively or negatively, you are influencing their manifestation. Therefore, it is essential to become aware of your inner dialogue and to consciously direct it in a way that aligns with the reality you wish to create. When you live in the end, your inner dialogue should reflect the certainty that your desire is already fulfilled. Instead of thinking thoughts like, "I hope this happens," or "what if it doesn't work out?" You must think and speak as if your desire is already a part of your life. This means replacing doubt with affirmation, fear with faith, and lack with abundance. Your inner dialogue should be filled with statements like, "I am so grateful that this has already happened," or "I am living the life I've always dreamed of." At first, this may feel unnatural, especially if you are used to focusing on what is missing or lacking in your life. But with practice, this new way of thinking becomes second nature. The more you affirm the reality of your desire, the more your subconscious mind begins to accept it as truth. And as we know, the subconscious mind is the key to manifestation. Once a belief is accepted by the subconscious, it begins to shape your external reality in ways that may seem miraculous. It is also important to note that your inner dialogue does not have to be limited to words. In fact, one of the most effective ways to live in the end is through the power of visualization. Visualization is a form of mental rehearsal in which you imagine yourself experiencing your desired reality in vivid detail. When done correctly, visualization can evoke powerful emotions and sensations, which in turn strengthen your assumption that your wish is already fulfilled. When you visualize, it is important to engage all of your senses. Don't just see yourself living your desired reality, feel it, hear it, smell it, and even taste it. For example, if your desire is to live in your dream home, Don't just picture yourself walking through the house, feel the texture of the floors beneath your feet, hear the sound of the wind rustling through the trees outside, smell the fresh paint on the walls, and taste the first meal you cook in your new kitchen. The more vividly you can imagine yourself living your desired reality, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. The key to successful visualization is to focus on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is not enough to simply see yourself achieving your desire, you must also feel the emotions associated with that achievement. These emotions are the fuel that powers the manifestation process. When you feel joy, excitement, gratitude, and satisfaction, you are vibrating at the frequency of your desired reality. This vibration is what attracts the people, opportunities, and circumstances that will bring your desire into physical form. Another important aspect of living in the end is the role of self-concept. Your self-concept is the mental image you hold of yourself, and it plays a crucial role in determining what you can and cannot achieve. If you see yourself as someone who is unworthy or incapable of achieving your desires, then no matter how much you try to live in the end, you will always encounter resistance. This is because your self-concept sets the boundaries of what you believe is possible for you. To truly live in the end, you must align your self-concept with the reality of your desire. This means seeing yourself as the person who already has what you want. If your desire is to be wealthy, then you must begin to see yourself as someone who is financially abundant. If your desire is to be in a loving relationship, then you must see yourself as someone who is worthy of love and companionship. Your self-concept must reflect the reality of your wish fulfilled. One way to shift your self-concept is through the use of affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce your desired self-image. When repeated consistently, affirmations help to reprogram your subconscious mind and align your self-concept with your desired reality. For example, if your desire is to be successful in your career, you might repeat affirmations like, "I am a successful and respected leader in my field," or "I attract lucrative opportunities and excel in everything I do." Over time, these affirmations will become ingrained in your subconscious, and you will begin to embody the qualities of the person you wish to become. Another powerful tool for shifting your self-concept is the practice of self-love. Self-love is the foundation upon which all manifestation is built. If you do not believe that you are worthy of having your desires, you will subconsciously sabotage your efforts to achieve them. Therefore, it is essential to cultivate a deep sense of love and appreciation for yourself. This means treating yourself with kindness, compassion, and respect, and letting go of any beliefs or patterns that undermine your sense of self-worth. When you love yourself unconditionally, you naturally attract experiences that reflect that love. You no longer settle for less than you deserve, and you no longer tolerate situations or relationships that do not align with your highest good. Self-love empowers you to live in the end with confidence and certainty, because you know that you are deserving of everything you desire. It is also important to understand that living in the end does not mean denying the present moment. While it is true that you are focused on the feeling of your wish fulfilled, this does not mean that you should ignore or resist your current circumstances. In fact, one of the most powerful aspects of living in the end is the ability to embrace the present moment while simultaneously holding the vision of your desired future. The present moment is always perfect, even when it does not appear to be. Every experience you have, every challenge you face, is part of the process of bringing your desires into physical form. When you resist the present moment, you create unnecessary suffering and delay the manifestation of your desires. But when you accept the present moment as it is, without judgment or resistance, you allow the natural flow of life to carry you toward your desired reality. Living in the end also requires patience. The physical world operates on a different timeline than the inner world of imagination, and sometimes it takes time for your desires to manifest. This is not because the universe is withholding your desires, but because there are unseen factors at play that must align in order for your wish to come into physical form. During this time, it is important to remain steadfast in your assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, even if you cannot yet see the results. Patience does not mean passivity. It does not mean sitting idly by and waiting for things to happen. Instead, patience is an active state of trust and faith. It means continuing to live in the end, even when the external world seems to suggest otherwise. It means taking inspired action from a place of alignment, rather than from a place of fear or desperation. And most importantly, it means enjoying the journey, knowing that the destination is already yours. As you continue to live in the end, you will notice subtle shifts in your reality. You may begin to encounter synchronicities, chance encounters, or unexpected opportunities that seem to align perfectly with your desires. These are signs that your wish is in the process of manifesting, and they serve as encouragement to continue living in the end. However, it is important not to become too attached to these signs. While they are a positive indication that your desire is on its way, the true measure of success is your inner state of being. Ultimately, living in the end is about cultivating a sense of inner fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances. It is about recognizing that everything you desire already exists within you, and that you have the power to bring it into physical form through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. It is about embracing the truth that you are the creator of your reality, and that you have the ability to manifest your desires with ease and grace. The journey of living in the end is one of self-discovery, empowerment, and joy. It is a journey that invites you to explore the limitless potential of your imagination and to step into the fullness of who you truly are. As you continue to live in the end, you will come to realize that the external world is merely a reflection of your inner state. When you change your inner world, your outer world changes in response. So embrace the practice of living in the end. Make it a daily commitment to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and to embody that state in every aspect of your life. Trust in the power of your imagination and know that you are always in control of your reality. In conclusion, living in the end is a transformative practice that empowers you to step into the reality you desire, not by waiting for external circumstances to change, but by aligning your inner world with the fulfillment of your wishes. It requires you to shift your focus from lack to abundance, from fear to faith, and from doubt to certainty. By assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and embodying that state in your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you create the conditions for your desires to manifest effortlessly. This process is not about forcing or controlling outcomes, but about trusting in the power of your imagination and the natural flow of life. As you cultivate the practice of living in the end, you will discover that your outer world begins to mirror your inner state of being. You will attract the people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your desires, and your life will unfold in ways that exceed your expectations. Remember, the key to living in the end is to maintain an unwavering belief in the reality of your desire, even when the physical world suggests otherwise. Stay patient, stay focused, and stay connected to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. In doing so, you will unlock the infinite potential within you and realize that everything you seek is already yours.